Hi, everybody. Welcome back. It is game number 2 of our doubleheader, but this is a little bit bigger as the shot goes to second and then winds up in shallow right. This is the Shelton State squad that struggled with errors, and that was in game number 1, and they have committed a mistake to begin game number 2. And Hannah Peters will get on, compliments of the E4. Well, here's what's at stake, the title. Lady Governors 58-7 now. 32-16 of the Buccaneers after the opening game 4-2 victory for the Lady Govs as we get this title bout underway. And now the championship game is no longer the championship game. The if game's the title game. So this if matchup will determine who represents the ACCC in St. George, Utah. The runner-up still has a shot to go, but they will go as a District I champion if they get to St. George, Utah. Plus, there is another stop along the way. Hi, everybody. Robert Williamson set to bring you the coverage, and today is like any normal doubleheader day in that there is so little time between innings. Sometimes we don't get everything up into the box that we typically do. And in this particular case, Wallace Dothan making some changes because of the exit of Popwell. Popwell injured in the prior game, so she is not getting the start. Otherwise, things might be about the same. And ricochets off Minyard's mitt and winds up in center field. And that is Evan Bibb with a base hit. So to begin the ball game, we'll be jotting notes, putting names in scorebook. As a matter of fact, the game was literally in progress. The first of the game, the first pitch had been made when we were getting lineups up here. There is a base hit by Dempsey coming home. Peters and Wallace Dothan gets the early lead in this one. So Dempsey will pick up the base hit. There are a couple of base runners on in now a one-zip contest. That'll bring Emerald Coachman to the plate. And again, I'm sure that the lineup stays relatively the same, if not for the injury to Popwell. But the injury to Popwell changes everything. And thus, late arrival of the starting lineups here into the box. Emerald Coachman with a couple of base runners on. Wallace Dothan. An early one-zip advantage. Two balls, one strike, nobody gone. Couple of base runners aboard, one in. It is wrapped too short. And that's bobbled. Smiley can't find the grip. And an E6 has got Coachman on. And the base is full of Govs. Jotting the final information in the book, and we'll get you set with all that info. Here we go. You ready? Hannah Peters started things off, reached on an error, came in and scored on the Bailey Dempsey single. Evan Bibb singled. She's batting second. Bailey Dempsey, of course, that RBI shot, batting in the 3 spot. Emerald Coachman, who just reached on the E6, is over at first currently and batting in the 4 spot. Skylar Edwards hits 5th. Asia Jones, the 6-hitter. Kennedy Ward batting 7th. Anna Poland is a new entry into the lineup due to the exit of Hannah Popwell. She'll bat 8th, and Hope Minyard in the 9 spot. Hannah Minyard tossing the balls and strikes. Meanwhile, Leslie Brogdon is behind the plate. Katie Clifton at first, the second baseman for the Buccaneers, Kayla Wyatt. At shortstop, Bria Smiley. At third, Natalie Watkins. In that outfield, Left field belongs to Kelsey Self, as Edwards will go down a strikeout victim, and there is the first out on the top of the first. In center field, Hannah Sartain, and in right, Jill Hamilton. So you are set. One away, bases full. Asia Jones stepping into the box. Wallace Dothan trying to jump on these Buccaneers early. Buccaneers already committing a couple of mistakes, and it really was the errors in the opening game that directly led to troubles. That's off Minyard, rolls towards first. It's picked up by Clifton, but everybody's safe, and Bibb comes home. So Asia Jones credited with a base hit and an RBI. Dempsey at third, Coachman at second, Jones the base runner at first, still loaded up, and now a 2-zip game. Kennedy Ward next. Anna Poland moving to the on-deck circle. So it is Wallace Dothan taking the early advantage in this one and looking to add more. Swing and a miss by Ward. Neither team put a lot of offense together in the opening game. 6 base hits for the Lady Govs and 3 for the Buccaneers. Reaching out, poking over towards first, throw coming home, and the catch made at the plate by Brogdon. And that will get Dempsey coming in from third. That is a 3-2 putout. Bases still loaded, but now with 2 gone. And Anna Poland coming to the plate. One of the heroes in yesterday's game. There was 1 out in the bottom of the 7th, and her Lady Govs were down by 2 to Central Alabama when this lady stepped to the plate and socked one out of the park. And then Hannah Peters did exactly the same thing in the next at-bat. That tied the game up. It went to the 8th, and the Governors win it in the bottom of the 8th to advance to the championship. And then, of course, in the first game today, knocking off Shelton State 4-2. Inside pitch to Poland. Hope Minyard moves to the on-deck circle. Lady Govs have now won 58 games. Possibility of a 60-win season for the Lady Governors. Here's the 3-1 offering. Fouled away by Poland. Top of the first, 3-2 pitch count on Poland. Bases are loaded, 2 gone, 2 in. And Governors trying to make an early statement in this one. It is outside, walked is Poland, and Coachman will come in. And the 9th Governor to come to the plate in the first inning, making her way there now. That's Hope Minyard. Top of the order, Hannah Peters awaits on deck. Swing and a miss by Minyard. Three base hits, 2 errors, 1 walk. Turning into 3 Wallace Dothan runs here in the top part of the first. Outside with the pitch from Minyard. Childress pitched the opening game. Minyard's got this one for the Lady Bucks. By the way, it was a coin toss that made Shelton State the home team in this one. Rolled towards second. Scooped up and thrown over to first, and I think that's a new second baseman. We're going to have to make sure that it's still Wyatt. No, I think that's Wyatt who's still in there. Thought after the mistake at second, maybe a buck gets lifted, but she stays in. Fields fires, gets Minyard on the 4-3. 3 are stranded, but 3 coming in score. And Wallace Dothan will take the early 3-zip lead.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
We head to the bottom of the first. Jill Hamilton starting things off for Shelton State. Bria Smiley batting in the 2 spot. Ashton Hill will hit 3rd. Hannah Sartain in the 4 spot. Leslie Brogdon hits 5th. Katie Clifton is the 6 hitter. Hannah Minyard will bat 7th. Kayla Wyatt is the 8 hitter. And Natalie Watkins is batting 9th for Shelton State. All facing Mally Brown in the circle. Behind the plate is Hope Minyard for the Lady Govs. The first baseman is Asia Jones. Emerald Coachman at second. The shortstop, Kennedy Ward at 3rd. Anna Poland. In the outfield, Bailey Dempsey's got left. Skylar Edwards is in center field, and Hannah Peters is in right. Hit to Poland, knocks it down at 3rd, goes over to 1st, and still gets the out. One away for Bria Smiley.
Now batting the shortstop, number 7, Bria Smiley.
Ashton Hill moves to the on-deck circle. Into the strike zone with the opening pitch to Smiley. The inside pitch, but Smiley fights it off. Currently here in Alabaster, 79 degrees. We'll warm to 82. Nothing but sunshine till it gets dark. And hopefully we won't be here when it gets dark. If we are, this is about a 20 or 30 inning game. 44% humidity. Really light winds, northwest at 6. UV index at 10. The air quality is good. And the air quality index, 41. Fouled back by Smiley. What does all that mean? Gorgeous. You can sum it up in one word. Hey, I don't know what the air quality and the index and all that stuff is. I just look outside, and it's beautiful here in Alabaster at Veterans Park. Sent foul by Smiley. Coming up on Thursday, we head down to Ozark, Alabama, part of the country where Wallace Dothan reigns. And we'll bring you the ACCC Baseball Championships. Play-in game on Thursday with games at 1 and 4. And then the double elimination portion of the event will begin on Friday. And we'll have every game right here. Me and Charlie and can't remember who else is typically in the box. will be there. Swing and a miss. Out goes Smiley. And we'll be there for every game.
Now batting the designated player number 20, Ashton Hill.
From very early until sometimes very late. We have been there before until about 1 o'clock in the morning if rain creates issues. Popped up, back towards the screen, and Minyard can't get to it. Thought she might be able to, but instead of a foot inside, it's about a foot outside of the backstop on field 5. Now you can see Ashton Hill thinking about the Mally Brown pitch, decided to lay off of the toss. Too far inside. The league leader in strikeouts, Mally Brown, after Bailey Dempsey picked up the victory in the opening game. Dempsey is now in left field for this one. Over towards third. Poland reaches for it. Can't get it in foul territory, and the at-bat continues for Hill. Hannah Sartain moves to the on-deck circle. In the second for Wallace Dothan, we start at the same spot the first inning began with the top of the order. Chopped foul again. Wallace Dothan, the number 1 seed out of the South, suffered 1 loss during the course of this tournament. That one's popped up. Over towards Poland at third. She calls everybody off, makes the catch. And it's a 1-2-3. Bottom of the first. We go to the second. Peters, Bibb, and Dempsey all coming up.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Top of the second, top of the order. Hannah Peters coming back to the plate. Peters stepped into the batter's box to begin the ball game and reached on an error at second. And now she is back into the box here in the second. Evan Bibb, Bailey Dempsey due up in the inning too. Into the strike zone with the opening pitch to Peters from Hannah Minyard. And it is 0-2. Leslie Brogdon, the Buccaneer catcher, was looking for the softball, couldn't see it anywhere, and apparently just kind of popped up into the hand of Peters, and Peters is holding it in the palm of the hand, and Brogdon's going, where is that thing? To have a little chuckle and smile between one another, and back into the box steps Peters. Good looking Minyard toss, dropped it into the strike zone. And Peters out number 1.
The batter, the designated player, number 3, Evan Bibb.
Evan Bibb had a single and scored a run in the first. Inside toss got Bibb, and she will walk. Well, Bibb is familiar with this kind of stuff. She got hit by a pitch in the 4th inning of the prior game. So Caitlin Childress has hit Bibb, and now Hannah Minyard has done the same.
Provider left fielder, number 18, Bailey Dempsey.
And a base runner on as Bailey Dempsey steps in. She had a single that drove in a run in the 1st. Takes a pitch high. Here's the 1-0 offering from Dempsey, or to Dempsey, and that gets Dempsey. And she will take the trot to first. Back-to-back hit batsmen, Bibb and Dempsey, and 2 on for Emerald Coachman.
The batter, second baseman, number 23, Emerald Coachman.
Couple of base runners on. Wallace Dothan plated 3 runs in the 1st. And making some noise here in the 2nd. Emerald Coachman reached on an error and came in and scored a run back in the 1st inning. Skylar Edwards moves to the on-deck circle. On the outside part of the plate to Coachman. Trying to pull it back into the strike zone is Brogdon. Instead, it stays outside, 1-2. Shelton stayed in the bottom of the 2nd. We'll send Hannah Sartain, Leslie Brogdon, Katie Clifton to the plate. Little check swing, and she is out. It was a drop to strike 3, but first was occupied, so Coachman will be a strikeout victim. Go back to the dugout as out number 2. Base runners, though, do advance. Bibb goes to 3rd, and Dempsey will go to 2nd. And there's 2 gone for Skylar Edwards. First pitch coming in low to Edwards. She struck out in the 1st. Asia Jones next. Hannah Minyard during the regular season, 22 appearances, 20 as a starter. She was 10-9 overall with 8 complete games, worked 116 innings. Gave up 130 hits, 89 runs, 59 of which were earned, 52 walks, 77 strikeouts, 12 home runs given up, and comes into the tournament, or at least did, with a 3.56 ERA. Fouled back into the mid of Brogdon, and it's a 2-strike count on Edwards. Well, the Lady Govs have already left 3 on in the 1st. And Hannah Minyard trying to make it 2 in the 2nd. Rolled to Wyatt at 2nd, over to 1st with the throw. And Edwards out on the 4-3. Couple of base runners stranded. That's now 5 left on for Wallace Dothan. They do not pick up a base hit in the top of the 2nd. Still have a total of 3. We go to the bottom of the inning. Sartain, Brogdon, and Clifton all coming up. Just about all Wayne Jones County. Diving catch at shortstop. Gross. Towards the gap. Diving catch in center field by Ben Aklinski. There is a shot towards deep short. Krabs got it. Long throw over, and he got it. Bottom of the second, Hannah Sartain starting things off. Leslie Brogdon, Katie Clifton due up in the inning, too. By the way, in the third and fourth, we'll do it when we normally do this game. Third and fourth innings, your tech shout-outs. So I know in between games you've gotten creative right and have put your creative writing into practice and got a good shout-out for us, right? Third and fourth innings, we'll do it. And post a number on your scoreboard to be able to text those shout-outs. And by the way, thanks to great selfies in the prior game, folks just proving that they are indeed watching the game coverage. Who knows, that stuff may wind up on Facebook and Twitter a little bit later on. So when you send the selfies, be sure to send a caption. Got a lot of folks in the college mall or library watching the coverage, then get them all in a picture. Of course, you got to have the coverage there somehow. Got to get the iPad, the iPhone, the laptop. Send a selfie too, and we'll give you that number in the third. Just kind of getting you prepared for the third and fourth. Sartain taking a pitch from Brown on the outside part of the plate. And now a couple of Ks for Brown. So one away for Leslie Brogdon. Katie Clifton moves to the on-deck circle. Well, obviously a strong 1-2 punch for the pitching staff of Wallace Dothan with Bailey Dempsey, who pitched the prior game, and Mallie Brown, who's pitching this one. Brown on the year, 32 regular season appearances, 30 starts, and completed every game except 4. Went 27-4 with 1 save and worked 184 in a third innings. Gave up 127 hits, 54 runs, 34 earned, 62 walks, 217 strikeouts, 7 long balls hit on Mallie Brown. And came into the tournament with a 1.29 ERA. This is a Wallace Dothan staff that has struck out 389, and that was just coming into the tournament. So it is safe to say they're well beyond 400 Ks now. Fouled off by Brogdon. And that team ERA of 1.11, that isn't shabby. As a matter of fact, at 1.29, Brown's got the highest ERA of the 3 pitchers used in the season. Chopped foul over towards third. Leslie Brogdon in the ballgame that preceded batted in the 5 spot and scored a run in the second inning. She had walked, and Katie Stoker brought her in. Count goes even at 2. On the inside part of the plate, another strikeout looking. Sartain did it. Brogdon does as well. And there's 2 away for Katie Clifton.
The batter, first baseman, Katie Clifton.
Hannah Minyard moves to the on-deck circle. Muscled over towards right field. That will drop foul. And Clifton will come back and do it again. Well, don't forget the game archived at its conclusion. You want to watch it again and again, you can. If you want to download a copy of the game, there's just this itty-bitty baby cost of $2.99. I mean, what can you get for $2.99 these days? Not much. I guess a gallon of gas. Maybe a cup of coffee. or a copy of the game. Hit well, but foul by Clifton. Nothing in 2 on Clifton. 2 gone, nobody aboard. Bottom of the second. Hits it toward it, short. Over to first with the throw, and Clifton out on the 6-3. Another 3-on-3 down inning. 3 go up. Sartain, Brogdon, and Clifton. 3 go down. Same 3. We head to the top part of the third. It's the 6, 7, and 8 spots coming up for Wallace Dothan.
The Dwarf King movie is officially going into pre-production.
Sending somebody to Guatemala
to track down all the things that'll make it authentic.
I told them you would go too.
No, I'm not getting in an airplane, and I'm not going to Guatemala.
We need to know exactly what's happening before the freaking Wonder Twins unite.
I have a spy on the ground. He's giving me information. I want to be a player.
Charge between 3 and 5K. Shouldn't be a problem, should it?
They think that we're a part of this American drug cartel, La Rubia and El Bruto.
No one messes with LJ!
El Bruto? I kind of like that. That's got a ring to it.
We just have to make sure that first, they don't succeed.
You're not trying to Bill Cosby me.
Three runs, 3 hits, no errors. Wallace Dothan as we head to the top of the third. Shelton State, no runs or hits, and have committed a couple of mistakes. They both came in the first inning and came within the first 4 at-bats. And we head to the third. You see a scoreboard's got a shout-out number, 334-488-1385. 334-488-1385. If you watch the opening game, then you know how we do this. Send your shout-outs to that text number. Now, don't call the number. We obviously would love to talk, but just don't have a lot of time right now. Focusing on softball, but if you'll text those shout-outs, 334-488-1385. And let us know, too, when you text it, where you're watching the game coverage. And again, if you want to send a selfie of everybody gathered around something watching it somewhere, do. Jones will hit into the 6-3. Smiley fields and goes over to first. And there is one away. 334-488-1385. Tell you what we'll do, too, since it is in the middle of a work day. If you're watching at work, let us know the workplace, and we'll give them a little free publicity. That is, if it's okay that you watch while at work. One hop to third. Watkins will go over to first. And Kennedy Ward out number 2. And at this rate, the third and fourth will go quickly. So those are your chances to get shout-outs in. Innings 3 and 4 at 334-488-1385. Shout-out to Ashton Hill from your best friend Emily Cowart. I know we were watching now. They play again, right? It's Laura and Annie. Yes, Laura and Annie, they are playing again. Skylar Edwards, your Mimi is cheering for you and the Lady Govs. Remember, walk it out. Popped up on the infield. Smiley says she's got it. She does, and it's a 3-up. 3 down, bottom part of the inning. We are headed, I make that top of the inning, we're headed to the bottom. Minyard, Wyatt, and Watkins coming up.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
gets a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
We head to the bottom of the third. Hannah Minyard will start things off. Kayla Wyatt and Natalie Watkins due up in the inning, too. This shout-out is to Macy Crawford from Wallace, Mawmaw, and Paw Paw, who say they will go to Utah to watch y'all play if you win today. In the southern part of Utah. I used to live in the northern part. Different look to the southern part, but still a beautiful part of the state. Go Govs, love you, Coach Claire from Beauregard, Alabama. Into center field and a leadoff single from Hannah Minyard. And now the Buccaneers trying to generate some energy. So the Buccaneers will get their first runner of the day and first base hit as Hannah Minyard gets aboard for Kayla Wyatt. Natalie Watkins to the on-deck circle. Here's a shout-out that says, Go Govs, the biology department is cheering you on. It takes guts to be a Gov. Love your Wallace anatomy instructors. Well, I wonder if they have stopped dissecting a frog long enough to watch the coverage, apparently. So why do we always think that biology is just dissecting frogs? I mean, it's so much more to it. I guess it's just the first thing that comes to mind. I remember doing that at one point. Kayla Wyatt with a base runner on. That is Minyard. Showing bunt. But pulling back is Wyatt, and Minyard stays over at first. Shout out to Wallace softball from the Wallace baseball team. Go Govs. Hashtag Govs are really hot. Of course, the baseball team representing the top spot in the South Division. Heading to Ozark. Nice little backhand by Jones. Able to get it over to first where Coachman is covering. But Kayla Wyatt has done as requested and sacrifices Minyard to second.
Now batting the third baseman, number 6, Natalie Watkins.
Natalie Watkins to the plate. Then it's back to the top of the order for Shelton State. Hit towards left. Bailey Dempsey trying to make the grab off the shoestrings in foul territory, but can't. Well, the Buccaneers looking for not only a run, but a boost, a moral boost. Well, I got the economics department at Wallace cheering on the Lady Govs. So, okay, if biology was dissecting frogs, economics is studying stats, I guess. You can probably tell just by the way I talk, I did not really fare extremely well in school. Pitch will miss to Watkins. Lloyd Springfield in South Carolina checking out who USC Salkehatchie might be playing. Enjoying the game. Thanks, Lloyd. And congratulations to your USC Salkehatchie team. Bunt is perfect, and there's nobody there. That's going to bring in a run. Minyard comes in and scores. Perfect placement by Watkins. Coachman had to run get it, and Minyard came in and scored. Now that will prompt a meeting there in the circle, and the infielders have summoned the outfielders as the Lady Govs try to get a little regrouping session underway. Shout out says, Go Lady Govs, cheering y'all on from Northside Hospital in Stockbridge, Georgia. Love you, Mally Brown. Thanks so much, Stockbridge. Shout out to Macy Crawford from the Adams family. How about another department at Wallace Community College? Go Lady Govs from the English department at Wallace. I just noticed that our scoreboards had a little glitch on the innings. We'll try to get that straightened out. Not sure what it's doing, but maybe we can correct it. There we go. Stolen base as Watkins is safely there during the Jill Hamilton at-bat. Well, I mentioned in the opening game, Buccaneers don't do it very often. They don't steal bases that much. They only stole 10 during the course of the regular season. And 11 coming into today. Swing and a miss by Hamilton. But there is stolen base number 12 as Natalie Watkins winds up at second. Hamilton wrapped into the 5-3 in the first. Outside with the Brown pitch. So the runner at second represents the run that could make this a one-run game. Well, the biology department says they're hoping the Govs dissect the Bucks instead of the Frogs. I like that. Popped up. Poland over in front of the dugout going to make the catch. And there's two away.
The batter is shortstop, number 7, Bria Smiley.
Go Lady Govs, shout out to Evan Bibb. Go Lady Govs represent from the Freshman Studies Department. I think it is safe to say everybody at Wallace Community College is watching softball this afternoon. Bria Smiley struck out in the first. She is 0 for 1 in the game. Go Lady Govs getting ready for graduation this Thursday and Friday. The Office of Enrollment Services there at the school. It is sent foul. Go Govs from Taylor Lane, a Wallace alumni. Hashtag GovNation. Well, obviously we got a lot of Gov fans watching. What about Buck fans? Of course, a lot of the Bucks may be here. We're a lot closer to Tuscaloosa here than Dothan. Put up the middle by Smiley. It is scooped up by Ward. Won't make a throw to first. She'll throw home. Minyard chasing back Watkins. And with all the activity at third, Smiley will take second. So Smiley is credited with the infield single. And now a couple of base runners aboard, both in scoring position with two away. And the Buccaneers with an opportunity to tie this game if Ashton Hill can get a hit. Chopped over towards third, but foul. Ashton Hill with a fly out to third. That happened in the first. Hannah Sartain moves to the on-deck circle. Buccaneers trying to get back into the game. Fouled away. Go Govs and go Coach Claire. Mercer Softball is rooting for you. Shout out says, of course everyone is watching Lady Govs right now because hashtag Govs are really hot. Well, it's the Bucks threatening to tie this one up here in the bottom of the third as it is fouled away by Ashton Hill. Hannah Sartain next when you get to the fourth. Lady Govs will send Hope Minyard, Hannah Peters, Evan Bibb to the plate. Go Govs, number 18 from Coy Williams. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Hill. Ground foul again. Well, we're about a day late getting the championship to you. Rain fell on Saturday that postponed things. That's in center field, base hit. In to score Watkins. Smiley comes to the house. It's a brand new game. Ashton Hill delivering with a big 2-out single. And the Buccaneers right back into this one. Coach Russo out of the dugout. Let's see if he is about to make a change. He has come to talk with the official, and I see that Macy Crawford is making her way to left, so apparently Bailey Dempsey is coming in. Dempsey, who won the opening game, summons from the pen this time and will replace Mally Brown when we come back.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Number 18, Bailey Dempsey.
Bailey Dempsey back into the circle. Was a starter in the opening game, a reliever in this one. Mally Brown will leave after 2 2/3 innings, facing 12, striking out 3. Did not give up a walk, as that one is fouled away, but did give up 4 hits and 3 runs, and all 4 hits came in the 3rd inning. Was just coasting through innings 1 and 2, retired the side in order, but Bucks apparently got her figured out in the 3rd. Smiley and Hill with singles. Minyard and Watkins with singles. And we're tied at 3. Fouled back behind the backstop and towards the concession stand. Shout out says, go Bucks from Mercer Softball. Here's another. Come on, Hannah Sertain. Jeter and Andy are wanting a home run. Girl, love you. It is Hannah Sartain who is in the box as we speak. She struck out looking in the 2nd. Trying to give the Bucks their first lead in this one. With Ashton Hill, who had that 2 RBI single moments ago to tie it up at first. Leslie Brogdon to the on-deck circle. That's hit well towards center field. It is over the head of Skylar Edwards. Ran into the fence trying to get to it. Hill rounding 3rd. She will come in and score. Hannah Sartain with a double that drives in Shelton State's go-ahead run. And with that, we can close the books on Mally Brown, allowing a total of 4 runs in her 2 2/3 innings. Facing 12, 3 strikeouts, a walk, 4 hits, and as I mentioned, those 4 runs. And Shelton State grabs the lead. Swing and a miss by Leslie Brogdon. Fouled away. Katie Clifton moves to the on-deck circle. Well, not only has Shelton State passed Wallace Dothan in the run department, which is certainly the priority, they've also passed Wallace Dothan in the hit department. That's coming back this way. Leslie Brogdon struck out in the second. She was part of those back-to-back strikeouts by Brown. Got Sartain and Brogdon. As it is fouled away again. And the official going, ladies, I need something we don't have, and that's a softball. And there it is. Well, I saw in Ozark a couple of years ago where one of the baseball teams went through their warm-ups without a baseball. I mean, they did, I guess it would be air ball. Pretended they had a baseball the entire time. But I don't think this is the setting for pretend. Bailey Dempsey thought she had the strikeout. But instead, the count is full. Popped up. And able to come over from first to make the catch is Jones. Well, let's hang on for a minute. You got Brogdon over at first, so apparently, I'm assuming the Minyard mitt again. It was an illegal pitch, okay? So it was the illegal pitch that gets Brogdon on. We have had plenty of those today. And as a matter of fact, the illegal pitches, maybe all of them, with few exceptions, have been from Bailey Dempsey. In the opening game, she was called about 6 times for an illegal pitch. And the illegal pitch again has put a base runner on as Brogdon is aboard, Sartain as well. Katie Clifton, who hit into the 6-3 in the second, batting here in the third. And Clifton represents the 9th Buccaneer to bat in the inning. It is sent a long way, but foul. Well, the third inning is setting the stage for an exciting finish in this one. Fouled away by Clifton. And another illegal pitch. Count even at 2. Two offering. Popped up on the infield. And Jones will make the catch from first. Couple of base runners stranded, but 4 come in and score, and Shelton State takes a 3-run deficit and turns it into a 1-run lead going to the 4th.
The Dwarf King movie is officially going into pre-production.
Sending somebody to Guatemala.
To track down all the things that'll make it authentic.
I told them you would go too.
No, I'm not getting in an airplane, and I'm not going to Guatemala.
We need to know exactly what's happening before the freaking Wonder Twins unite.
I have a spy on the ground. He's giving me information. I want to be a player.
Charge between 3 and 5K. Shouldn't be a problem, should it?
They think that we're a part of this American drug cartel, La Rubia and El Bruto.
No one messes with LJ!
El Bruto? I kind of like that. That's got a ring to it.
You just have to make sure that first, they don't succeed.
You're not trying to Bill Cosby me.
Top of the fourth, bottom of the order. Hope Minyard will start things off. Hannah Peters, Evan Bibb due up in the inning 2. As you see that Shelton State has taken the lead. All 5 hits. They did commit a couple of errors in the first inning, which seemed to derail them for an inning or so. But boy, did they get it together in the third. Putting 4 runs on the board and taking the lead into the fourth. Still taking your shout-outs at 334-488-1385. We'll do it through the fourth. Hope Minyard starting things off. Drives it towards the gap, and that is going to hit. Bounce up against the fence. Minyard will put on the brakes and go back to first with a very long single to start the Wallace Dothan fourth. More shout-outs. This one says, do you have any information on where some of the sophomores have signed? I do not, but no doubt many of the sophomores will be playing at 4-year institutions a year from now. Shout-out says, keep fighting Govs, bring it on home. Connie, a Gov alumni. Fouled off by Hannah Peters. Peters reached on an error in the first, struck out in the second. Evan Bibb moves to the on-deck circle. Top of the fourth. 3 runs in the first for Wallace Dothan, 4 runs in the third for the Buccaneers. Couple of strikes on Peters now. Reached on that error in the first inning as the leadoff hitter. Reached, or actually struck out as out number 1 as the leadoff hitter in the second. Outside with the pitch. Has Minyard on after the leadoff single, 4th hit of the game for Wallace Dothan. Well, speaking of baseball in the North Division, as that one is ripped foul. Things ended this way. Shelton State 1, Wallace Hansville 2, Snead State 3, MMI 4, Lawson State 5. In the South, Wallace Dothan 1, Coastal Alabama North 2, Chat Valley 3, Coastal South is 4, and LBW 5. Hit to second. Wyatt will go to second to get the lead runner. And the putout will go 4-6 for out number 1. And of course, the 4 and 5 seeds are in a play-in game, so 4 out of the North plays 5 out of the South, and vice versa. Which means on Thursday, there's a rip up the middle by Evan Bibb. Second base hit of the inning, couple of base runners on. Peters will go to second, Bailey Dempsey coming to the plate. Emerald Coachman to the on-deck circle. Dempsey got a hit that drove in a run in the first and then was hit by a Minyard pitch in the second. And now coach out of the dugout to go talk to his pitcher. And as a matter of fact, he's going to send Minyard into left field and put the lady who started the opening game into the circle. So coming in relief was the starter in game 1. That is Caitlin Childress. The new pitcher and the numbers on the old when we come back.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Kelsey Self will come out of the ball game as going to left field is Hannah Minyard, leaving the circle and handing the softball over to Caitlin Childress. Childress was the pitcher in the first game, the starting pitcher, and as a matter of fact, she stayed in for the duration of the opening game. And gets a few innings off here and now back in. So both teams now have gone to the pitcher who started today's first game. Here's the 0-1 pitch. Dempsey watches one outside, 1-1. Hannah Minyard worked 3 1/3, faced 20. Struck out 3, walked 1, gave up 5 hits. And there are a couple of base runners on that would be her responsibility, so we haven't totally closed the books on Minyard. Speaking of Minyard, that one hit her direction in left field. She'll make the catch and runners will hold. So Bailey Dempsey with the fly out as Emerald Coachman comes to the plate. Coachman has reached on an error and struck out. Skylar Edwards moves to the on-deck circle. So both starters gone and both starters back. Starters for the earlier game, replacing the starters for game number 2. Into the strike zone to Coachman. When you look at the Childress numbers on the year, regular season 22 appearances, 17-4, 1 save, 15 complete games in 125 innings of work, which by about 9 innings was the top pitcher. 94 hits given up, 51 runs, 41 earned, 39 walks, 128 strikeouts. Home run given up 12 times. As that one is hit to right, and Jill Hamilton will make the catch. So a couple of base runners get on, 2 base hits, 5 total now in the game for Wallace Dothan, but they leave 2 stranded and have now left 7 aboard. As we head to the bottom of the 4th, we'll start with the same spot that began the 3rd. Hannah Minyard when we come back.
Wallace Dothan in the 4th inning.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
Well, don't forget, coming up, it is this big event next weekend in Ozark, Alabama. The baseball teams gather for the right to advance to Grand Junction, Colorado. And all the coverage starts on Thursday in Ozark. Every game, every pitch, all right here. Bottom of the 4th, Hannah Minyard will start things off. She started the 3rd off with a single and came in and scored a run. And she will start off the 4th as well for the Buccaneers. It is the first time, though, that she has faced Bailey Dempsey in this game. Not today, however, obviously. Dempsey pitching in the first game. Convenient hop in towards Mitt at short. And Minyard out on the 6-3.
Now batting the second baseman, number 4, Kayla Wyatt.
Oh, don't forget shout-outs through the fourth. So you got 2 more outs if you haven't already shouted. Do some shouting. 334-488-1385. Opening game had some selfies, but we've been selfie-free in this one. Not by choice, mind you. Into the strike zone to Wyatt, who laid down a sacrifice in the third. Natalie Watkins on deck, swing and a miss. Dempsey came in and faced 3 in the third, as it is stuck right back into Dempsey's mitt. Gave up the double, then performed an illegal pitch that got a runner on and popped out over to first. 2 gone for Natalie Watkins. Jill Hamilton to the on-deck circle. In the top of the 5th, it'll be Edwards, Jones, and Warren coming to the plate. 5, 6, and 7 spots. Watkins with a single, a run scored, an RBI, and a stolen base in the third. It's into short. Warren goes to first, and the Bucks go 1-2-3 in the bottom of the 4th. We are headed to the 5th. Edwards, Jones, and Warren, 5, 6, and 7 coming up.
You heard of the Legend of the Dwarf King? We're making it into a movie.
I booked a job as a producer.
Wow, that sounds dangerous.
Yeah.
Wallace open in the 5th inning. The batter. Center fielder Skylar Edwards.
Top of the 5th, Skylar Edwards starting things off. Asia Jones, Kennedy Ward, 2 up in the inning, 2. And a little floater by Edwards, grabbed by Wyatt at second. Took 1 pitch to get 1 out.
The batter, first baseman, number 12, Asia Jones.
Asia Jones next. She is 1 for 2 with a single and a ground out to short. Kennedy Ward moves to the on-deck circle. On the outside part of the plate from Childress. A 4-3 Shelton State lead here in the top of the 5th. Well, again, the winner advances to St. George, Utah, represents the ACCC. The loser still has more softball and still has a chance to get to St. George, Utah and play in the Nationals. But they're going to have to go through USC Salkehatchie in Spartanburg, South Carolina. And best 2 of 3 series will begin on Friday. They'll have 2 games on Friday. and then a game, if necessary, on Saturday. Each year it flip-flops between South Carolina and Alabama as to who hosts. Jones strikes out. And Childress has faced 4 and gotten them all. Kennedy Ward next. Is ground into a 3-2 and a 5-3. Last year, that District I softball championship was played at Central Alabama. This year it will be played again on the campus of Spartanburg Methodist in Spartanburg, South Carolina. So the loser of this one and USC Salkehatchie. Outside with the pitch to Ward. Anna Poland is on deck. Shout out says, "You got this, Govs. Keep fighting." A Gov alumni. Popped up to second. Wyatt says she's got it. She does. And it's a 3-up, 3 down. Top of the 5th. We're going to the top of the order in the bottom of the 5th. Buccaneers will send Hamilton, Smiley, and Hill to the plate when we return to Alabaster.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
More shout-outs. This one says, "Go Govs" from Taylor Lane, a Wallace alumni. #GovNation. As we head into the bottom of the 5th, top of the order, Jill Hamilton will lead things off. Bria Smiley, Ashton Hill due up in the inning, too. A 1-run game. It is knocked down by Ward. Can she throw from her knees? No. Wow, almost. But not quite, and Hamilton will get on. That will be a base hit. And Hamilton now 1 of 3. Well, Ward able to get to it, but there was that little bit of a bobble as she dove for that grounder. And it was that split second that cost her. Bria Smiley is struck out and singled. She's 1 for 2 in the game. Ashton Hill moves to the on-deck circle. Breeze beginning to pick up a bit here in Alabaster. Looks like it's probably flowing in from left. Shoved over towards first. The throw going to second. There was no hesitation on the part of Asia Jones. Knew where she was going with the throw. But hang on. We might have another illegal pitch. Both base runners holding. Well, now the official says there's an out at second. I could hear the official say, "I don't have anything but an out here." It was definitely out at second with Jones going to second to get Hamilton. And now all matters sorted out. We've had so many illegal pitches called, though, that it's going, well, what exactly do we have? So I think things sorted out. There was just a momentary lapse of confusion. But Smiley will hit into the 8-3-6 put out that gets Hamilton. And there is one away. And that's what we thought there was. I think maybe one of the officials wasn't sure of the call at second, because I could hear the two between them, and the official at second said, all I've got here is an out. So I think maybe just a momentary bit of confusion between officials as to the call that had been made. It's been straightened out. Hey, officials are human. Sometimes we kind of like to think they're not, that they're robotic, but they're going to make some mistakes occasionally. Foul back this way. Ashton Hill popped out to third, had a single that drove in a couple of runs. He is 1 for 2 in the game. Another one fouled off. Well, as we've already mentioned, we were all supposed to be home today and getting ready for baseball in Ozark, but rain changed that on Saturday. And that one will get out of play too. Poland gave it a chase, but it hit outside of the chain link. One ball, couple of strikes on Hill. And a Sartain on deck. That's popped up on the infield. And Ward, calling for it, makes the catch. 2 gone. Well, again, I said it in the opening game. Again, want to say it in game number 2, especially as we reach the end, or relatively close to the end of our coverage. A huge thanks to the folks here at Alabaster. They do a sensational job hosting. Tim Ham and his staff. You asked for it, you got it. I asked for something in center field to be able to give you a pitcher-to-hitter look, and I arrived this morning about 2.5 hours prior to the game and didn't have to ask again. It was sitting there waiting on me, and just do a sensational job of prepping these fields and getting games ready from one to the next. Scorekeepers do a great job. Well, it was an illegal pitch, 1-0. And, of course, the scorekeeper extraordinaire is Alfred, who happens to be working this game. And they bring in the big dog when it comes championship time. But from gate to press box, thanks so much, Veterans Park in Alabaster, Alabama. Pitch high to Sartain. And, of course, a huge thanks to Dean Myrick, the commissioner of the ACCC, a progressive commissioner. I mean, how many conferences have a game of the week? Into Poland at third. She will go across the diamond and get Sartain on the 5-3. And obviously, a huge thanks to you. If you weren't watching, there'd be no need for us here. We are heading to the 6th in a 1-run game. A 4-3 contest as we head to the 6th. One more hit and one more run for Shelton State versus Wallace Dothan. And they have committed a couple of errors in the game. leading it going into the top of the 6th. Anna Pollard will start things off. I make that Anna Poland, by the way. I put an R in there. It's an N. Anna Poland, a 205 hitter on the year, hit her 3rd home run of the season yesterday. Had 16 RBIs coming into the tourney. 3 doubles in those 88 plate appearances. Caitlin Childress in relief of Hannah Minyard. Trying to save it from Minyard. And that will find its way into left field for Poland. So the leadoff hitter aboard as Hope Minyard comes to the plate. And that is hit number 6 for Wallace Dothan as well. It is bunted foul by Minyard. Poland will go back to first. Hannah Peters moves to the on-deck circle. Lady Govs trying to get the run that ties it up. And then worry about taking the lead later. Buccaneers trying to maintain the advantage. It is bunted back to Childress, who only plays over at first. And Minyard has laid down the sacrifice that gets Poland the tying run into scoring position. Hannah Peters next. Peters had a big shot in the opening game today. It was a 2-run home run in the 5th inning. She had a big home run in yesterday's game against Central Alabama. A solo shot in the bottom of the 7th. And now Wallace Dothan hoping for another big hit out of Hannah Peters. Well, there you see Anna Poland. She's ready to go to third. Pitch low and away. Poland's base hit was the first hit given up by Childress. She came into the 4th and set 2 down and then had retired the side in order in the 5th. Strike on the outside part of the plate. One Childress offering. It is fouled away. Hannah Peters reached on an error and scored a run in the 1st, struck out in the 2nd. Ground into a 4-6 put out in the 4th. Upstairs with a pitch from Childress. Swing and a miss. Peters strikes out, 2 gone here in the 6th. And Childress will get her 2nd strikeout of the game. For Buccaneer pitching, it is K number 5. And there's 2 away. It is up to Evan Bibb to drive in the tying run, or at least play a role. Bailey Dempsey moves to the on-deck circle. Popped up on the infield. Kayla Wyatt says she's got it at second. She does. And the top of the sixth is over. Still a one-run Shelton State lead. Lady Bucks will try to add some insurance.
Detract on all the things that'll make it authentic.
I told them you would go too.
No, I'm not getting in an airplane, and I'm not going to Guatemala.
We need to know exactly what's happening before the freaking Wonder Twins unite.
I have a spy on the ground who's giving me information. I want to be a player.
Charge between 3 and 5K. Shouldn't be a problem, should it?
They think that we're a part of this American drug cartel, La Rubia and El Bruto.
No one messes with LJ!
El Bruto? I kind of like that. That's got a ring to it.
We just have to make sure that first, they don't succeed.
You're not trying to Bill Cosby me.
For Shelton State in the sixth inning, the batter. The catcher, number 14, Leslie Brogdon.
Bottom of the sixth, Leslie Brogdon starting things off. Katie Clifton, Hannah Minyard due up in the inning two. And that one will hit Brogdon.
Now batting the first baseman, number 30, Katie Clifton.
So Brogdon will get on as Katie Clifton comes to the plate and swings and misses. Clifton 0 for 2. Throw to second, and instead of going to get the runner out, it goes to get the runner advanced. Anna Poland said, I can get the lead runner. Instead, overshoots her target by just a tad. And both base runners now in scoring position. So David Russo out of the dugout to come have a conversation with his ladies. Govs do not want this lead to get any larger than the current one, but the Buccaneers are certainly poised to do that and then some. As a couple of base runners are on. So the Govs responsible for the two runners. As a runner comes in for Clifton. And that pinch runner is Mackenzie Young. So Mackenzie Young will run for Clifton. But the Govs hitting Brogdon, and then the error allowing Clifton on. And it brings Hannah Minyard to the plate. Minyard is 1 for 2 in the game. Big cut, no contact. Kayla Wyatt to the on-deck circle. Mackenzie Young, the runner that's in for Clifton at second, has scored 1 run this year. But she is looking to score her biggest. With Brogdon ahead of her in the bottom of the sixth, Buccaneers trying to tack on some insurance with nobody out. Govs, who won the opening game 4-2 to force the if game, trying to keep it close so they can rally in the 7th. Fouled off by Minyard. The Wallace Dothan 7th will start with the 3 spot. Bailey Dempsey, followed by Emerald Coachman and Skylar Edwards. Foul out of play. Swing and a miss. Minyard goes down, but it was an illegal pitch. And Minyard's now on, and the base is loaded. Well, obviously, our device that lets us read the scoreboard had gone a little berserk. There's not many 1-3 counts. Well, I guess not with the batter staying in the box. Well, an illegal pitch has got a runner on again. And Kayla Wyatt will be pinch hit for. Kaylee Stoker coming to the plate. Stoker in the opening game, she had a double, and it drove in a run. And they would like for her to drive something in here. And I think we've got our devices talking to one another again so we can get that pitch count posted for you. Popped up to center field, base hit. Stoker with a pinch hit single that drives in a run, and the base is still loaded as Brogdon will come in and score. Now a 5-3 game, and Natalie Watkins stepping in. And it looks like Watkins is going to be pinch hit for. Let's see who comes in for Watkins. Watkins had gone 1 for 2 with an RBI single, a stolen base, and a run scored in the 3rd. Well, I think I heard Coach say she stays for now, so she may be coming back to the plate. Thought she was going to be pinch hit for, or is this somebody else? Nope, it is a pinch hitter. And this is Aaron Claiborne.
Kentucky State, the pinch hitter is number 12, Aaron Claiborne.
Claiborne on the year, a 190 hitter. Swing and a miss. 6 RBIs, 4 doubles. Half of her hits have been extra base hits. She had 8 hits during the course of the regular season. Fouled back. And of the 8 singles, 4 were doubles. Well, another illegal pitch, and the count stays 1-1. Bailey Dempsey obviously is doing something that officials deem illegal, and it's likely something she's been doing for a while. So it's hard for her to try to get out of the habit. Here's the 2-1 offering. It is fouled out of play to run the count even at 2. Claiborne with Jill Hamilton on deck. Into the dirt, goes to the screen. Coming in from third is Clifton. Advancing to third is Minyard. Stoker will wind up at second. Well, the lady bringing softballs to the umpire has a pig on her head. I think there was a stuffed pig on her headband. You know, these athletes are very superstitious. When they find something they think works as a good luck charm, they stick with it. There is another illegal pitch. And Claiborne is on. I don't know if there is a record for illegal pitches kept, but I'm thinking we are breaking records. Yes, there have been a ton of them called in this one.
The batter, the right fielder, number 5, Joe Hamilton.
There is just something in the delivery by Bailey Dempsey that obviously the officials, again, say is illegal. There's another illegal pitch. And Mallie Brown is going to come back into the ball game, as Bailey Dempsey has struggled with illegal pitches to the tune of about 12 to 15 in the game. And Dempsey will go back to left field. Crawford will come out of the game, and Brown will come back into pitch when we come back. Jill Hamilton batting with the bases loaded, as Bailey Dempsey, who came in from Mallie Brown and faced 15, is back in left field, and Brown back into the circle. And I'm looking at my notes, and they don't register each illegal pitch, but I see illegal pitches that put base runners on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. And there were plenty of illegal pitches that didn't put somebody on. One ball, couple of strikes. Brown back in the circle. Hamilton will lift it over in towards left, but in foul territory. Bria Smiley moves to the on-deck circle. Well, the Buccaneers wanted to add some insurance in the bottom of the 6th, and they are doing that. They are definitely widening the gap. There's another base hit in left field. Hamilton driving in Minyard. And station to station go the Buccaneers, as the bases are still loaded with Stoker at third, Claiborne at second, and now Hamilton with the RBI single at first.
The batter, the shortstop, number 7, Bria Smiley.
Bria Smiley coming to the plate. There is still nobody out here in the bottom of the 6th. Bria Smiley is struck out. She is singled. She is ground into a 3-6 putout. Ashton Hill moves to the on-deck circle. Strike on the outside part of the plate. That will drop in as a base hit right in front of Bailey. She'll fire home, but too late to get Stoker. Stoker scores, and Bria Smiley drives in another run. And the bases are still loaded.
The batter, the designated player, number 20, Ashton Hill.
It is a 7-3 game. Ashton Hill had a couple of RBIs on a single in the third. Otherwise has popped out twice on the infield. Hannah Sartain to the on-deck circle. Well, I know in baseball there is no mercy rule, but in softball, no mercy rule here either. So you can't get three more and wrap it up. We're going to the seventh. And, of course, Wallace Dothan, I know, saying, listen, if they do this in the bottom of the sixth, we can do it in the top part of the seventh. Hannah Sartain to the on-deck circle. This is the 8th batter in the 6th inning. And there's still not an out. That will wind up in the dirt. And coming in, of course, on the walk versus the wild pitch is Claimer. So Hill credited with the RBI, her third of the game. And the lead goes to 6. On the inside part of the plate to Sartain. Sartain has struck out, doubled, and ground out to third. She is 1 for 3 in the game. Leslie Brogdon, who started off the inning, he is prepared to come back to the plate here in the 6th. One hour, 43 minutes into the fifth game. And into the bottom of the 6th. Shelton State with a 4-run bottom of the 3rd, and now 3 innings later, pouring it on. Have scored 5 and have the bases loaded with nobody out. Win this and you go directly to St. George, Utah. Lose this one, and you got to stop in South Carolina and take on USC Salkehatchie. Swing and a miss. That'll get Sartain. And there is the first out here in the 6th.
The batter, the catcher, number 14, Leslie Brogdon.
On the outside part of the plate to Brogdon, who has struck out, reached on an illegal pitch, and been hit by a pitch, plus scored a run. Well, we will keep it right here for the post-game awards ceremony. The awarding of the runner-up trophy and the championship trophy. Naming of the MVP. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Brogdon. Fouled away again. One ball, couple of strikes on Brogdon. Brogdon batting here in the 6th. Buccaneers, the design of the inning was to add some insurance, and they have 5 runs plating, and the base is still loaded. The inside pitch. Popped up right side that will sell over into foul territory out of play. Hannah Peters giving it a brief chase, but realized it was not reachable. High fly ball left field. And Bailey Dempsey will make the over-the-shoulder catch. Tagging and coming in from third is Hamilton. So Brogdon picks up the RBI on the sac fly. And there's 2 gone with Katie Clifton coming to the plate.
The batter, the first baseman on the 30, Katie Clifton.
Smiley holds at second. Hill holds at first. Well, obviously by the noise near at field, Mike, you realize the softball hit somewhere nearby. Katie Clifton with a ground out, a fly out, reached on an error, scored a run. She is 0 for 3 in the game. Anna Minyard moves to the on-deck circle. Another one fouled away. And a fan making a nice catch. Matter of fact, he might be the same guy that made a nice catch earlier in the tournament behind field 2's backstop. Made the barehanded catch and will bring it over to the Shelton State dugout. Fouled off by Clifton. Clifton, a .374 hitter on the year, 4 home runs, 22 RBIs. 107 plate appearances, that's 3rd most on the team. And 8 doubles as well. Walked 10 times, struck out 21. Trying to extend the bottom of the 6th to the Hannah Minyard at bat. One-two offering. It is just a little bit outside, and the count will even up. And that has Mallie Brown shaking her head. Thought it was into the strike zone. Blue thought otherwise. And only 1 vote counts. 2-2 offering. That one is hit well to left field, but foul. So everybody will go back to where they were. Hill over at first, Smiley at second. And Katie Clifton will step back into the batter's box. On the outside part of the plate, Clifton strikes out to put an end to a very productive 6th inning for Shelton State. 11 go to the plate, a total of 6 come in and score, and a 1-run game becomes a 7-run lead as we head to the 7th for Wallace Dothan.
Frustrated. She's having trouble with her defensive player. Look at this sweet pass behind the back for 2 on the assist.
And that one is hit on a rope to center field. Watch that one. And it is, oh, what a great diving catch by the center field.
And in that game, it was basically a running back by committee. I mean, you had a lot of guys carrying the football. Is that the protocol for the upcoming season for the backfield of Jackson State?
It's a really nice pitch to get the ground ball double play. Second one.
6-5 is your final. East Georgia advances to the championship game.
We head to the top of the 7th. It is Bailey Dempsey that will start things off for Wallace Dothan. Emerald Coachman, Skylar Edwards due up in the inning, too. There you see a line score, and it changed drastically in the bottom of the 6th. It was a 4-3 game. Both teams with 6 hits going into the bottom part of the inning, but Shelton State explodes for 6. And Wallace Dothan with a tough task ahead of them in the top of the 7th. But they say they're up to the task. Bailey Dempsey starting things off. Emerald Coachman, Skylar Edwards will follow. And I'm sure the David Russo instructions, ladies, 1 hit at a time. Stranger things have happened. And the Govs will try to do the improbable in the 7th as it's fouled away. But again, the improbable and the impossible aren't the same. Buccaneers, though, trying to preserve the win and advance to St. George, Utah as the ACCC champions. Into center field, calling for it there is Hannah Sartain, and there's one away. One gone for Emerald Coachman. Coachman has reached on an error, struck out and popped out to right. She is 0 for 3 in the game. Skylar Edwards moves to the on-deck circle. And now Childress needing a little time to talk with her catcher, Leslie Brogdon. Just want to make sure they're on the same page. Needing 2 more outs. Well, Wallace Dothan was at this spot in yesterday's game. 1 out and down by runs, but just not this many runs against Central Alabama. It was solo home runs that tied things up in that one. If we're going to have solo home runs that tie this one up, they're going to have to come at a record pace, I would think. Of course, with Coachman, you got somebody that can pop it out of the park. Did it 3 times during the course of the regular season. And she's got a base hit. Rolls it to the fence. That's got Coachman on her way to second, and she will get there safely. So the Governors not finished yet. They've got Coachman in scoring position for Skylar Edwards.
The batter, center fielder, number 7, Skylar Edwards.
Edwards has struck out, ground out to second, and lined out to second. That is hit to left field, but right to Hannah Minyard. And for the Buccaneers, it's all down to Asia Jones. Same is true for the Govs, but with different circumstances. Bucks need Jones to preserve the win and advance to St. George. Governors need Jones to extend the top of the 7th. She is 1 for 3 in the game. Lines it up the middle, base hit. So Jones will deliver with her second RBI single of the game. and make it a 10-4 contest.
The batter, the shortstop, number 22, Kennedy Ward.
Kennedy Ward stepping in. Strike on the inside part of the plate. Anna Poland to the on-deck circle. By the way, we keep it here. The award ceremony coming up. Team trophies handed out. MVP, all-tournament team named. It all happens at the end of this game, and you can watch it right here. Popped up. Over towards center field. Catch is made by Hannah Sartain, and this one is final.
So Wallace opened in the 7th inning, 1 run, 2 hits.
Well, you got the pile of humanity between the circle and first. As this game is over, and it is a victory that belongs to the Buccaneers. Impressive innings, especially in the 6th, but the 3rd as well. 4 runs in the 3rd and a 6-run 6th, propelling Shelton State to a 10-4 win and the ACCC title. Well, they're bringing the tables out onto the turf. That means your presentation of the trophies coming up. We'll have that when we return.
Player in the game.
The Dwarf King movie is officially going into pre-production.
You're sending somebody to Guatemala.
To track down all the things that'll make it authentic.
I told them you would go too.
No, I'm not getting in an airplane, and I'm not going to Guatemala.
We need to know exactly what's happening before the freaking Wonder Twins unite.
I have a spy on the ground. He's giving me information. I want to be a player.
Charge between 3 and 5K. Shouldn't be a problem, should it?
They think that we're a part of this American drug cartel, La Rubia and El Bruto.
No one messes with LJ!
El Bruto? I kind of like that. That's got a ring to it.
We just have to make sure that first, they don't succeed.
You're not trying to Bill Cosby me.
Well, this one is over. It is a victory that belongs to Shelton State, a final score of 10-4. And they're about to go through the awards presentations. Got a lot of stuff to hand out, a lot of hardware to give away. And then you see the big trophies, the big plaques there. And on the ground is a box full of trophies as well. As this one is now final. It is in the books, and it is Shelton State that wins it. We're going to turn it over to our PA guy, Alfred, with all the specifics.
On behalf of the Alabama Community College Conference and Commissioner Dean Myrick, we would like to thank the City of Alabaster, Tim Ham, Sharon Allen, and all the amazing staff for their gracious hospitality and hard work during the tournament. To our teams, coaches, student athletes, and fans, thank you for a great play, sportsmanship, and support. What a great tournament it has been. Let's give everyone a round of applause. At this time, we would like to present the all-tournament team. From Wallace State, Keely Bobbitt. From Wallace State, Addie Robinson. From Central Alabama, Kiana Pearson. From Central Alabama, Madison Houston. From Wallace Dothan, Evan Bibb. From Wallace Dothan, Hannah Peters. From Wallace Dothan, Bailey Dempsey. From Shelton State, Bria Smiley. From Shelton State, Hannah Sartain. From Shelton State, Ashton Hill. The tournament most valuable player from Shelton State, Caitlin Childress. Now to present the ACCC Region 22 runner-up to the Lady Govs of Wallace Dothan. Let's give the Lady Govs a great round of applause on a great season and tournament. They will represent Region 22 in the District I Series May 10th and 11th in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Now to present the ACCC Region 22 Championship to the Lady Bucks of Shelton State. Let's give the Lady Bucks a great round of applause on a great season and tournament. The Lady Bucks will now advance to the NJCAA National Tournament in St. George, Utah.
Well, there you have it, the award ceremonies, the MVP, Caitlin Childress, of course, the runner-up, Wallace Dothan, and the champions are Shelton State, as this one has gone final, and we have ended a great week of softball here at Veterans Park in Alabaster, Alabama. Yeah, Shelton State lost the opening game by a final of 4-2. Wallace Dothan forcing the if, but the if game in Shelton State winning it and advancing to Utah. Wallace Dothan still got a chance to get there. They will meet USC Salkehatchie on Friday for a 2-game set on Friday, and if necessary, they'll play one on Saturday in Spartanburg, South Carolina. Thanks so much for watching our coverage. Great to have you on the other end of the broadcast. We will see you in Ozark, Alabama on Thursday as the ACCC Baseball Championships get underway. Robert Williamson saying so long, everybody.